Well, hello, my name is Jim Royal. I'm a huge Beatles and Elvis Presley fan and basically classic rock in general. So if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. If you can do a thumbs up, that's always most appreciated. Feel free to leave comments. I always enjoy reading them and I do my best to try to respond in a timely manner. Today what I wanted to do is I wanted to do a fan reaction to the last new Beatles song called Now and Then. I just heard it. It's been world premiered. I listened to it on the Beatles station. It's 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time is when they premiered it. And it was on channel 18 on the Beatles Sirius channel. It was amazing. I'm hoping that other places also, radio stations and other media allowed people to listen to it. Today it is November 2nd. 2023, and tomorrow, November 3rd, it is going to be on streaming services. It's going to be at stores. It's going to be online. I'm really excited about it. There's going to be different versions and stuff. So I wanted to just tell you my reaction to this. First of all, what they did is Chris Carter, the DJ who hosts Breakfast with the Beatles in the morning, he was talking, they were playing You Know My Name, Look Up the Number. Okay, so that's what they were playing. I was listening to this in my car, actually. So they played that, the last Beatles song on what was the B-side to Let It Be, to the single. And then he says, well, I'm not really sure how I should introduce this song, how I was going to do this, so I have someone else who's going to do it for you, and it was Paul McCartney. So Paul McCartney, a voice recording of him, and he says, that this is a new song from the Beatles. Last one, he believes, the last Beatles song, new Beatles song, as he said, and it is a John Lennon song, and it is with all four Beatles on it contributing, and then they started playing the song. Now, I have to say, I've heard the song in a demo form before with just John and the piano. It was recorded in 1979 at his home studio in the Dakota, actually one of his rooms there. And the issue initially is it had tape hiss throughout the cassette. Okay, so when the Beatles were working on the Anthology project in the 90s, they were given these tapes by Yoko. And she said, here are some John tapes, some John demos, maybe you can, do something with them. So they ended up using the first song, Free as a Bird, on Anthology 1, and then Anthology 2 they used Real Love, and then they also started attempting to record Now and Then. At the time, the producer that was used was Jeff Lynne from ELO, good friend of George Harrison, also Traveling Wilburys, and he produced George's Cloud 9, and he would later produce some songs for Paul on Flaming Pie. So, and for Ringo too. I think he did some other stuff. I know for a fact he did. So anyway, they tried to do it and they just couldn't remove the tape hiss, and it was just a real mess. So what ended up happening was they shelved it. I think George was just not happy with it. They did all play on it, including George and guitar. And then here we go, 2022. Peter Jackson, the famous film producer, did a documentary on the Beatles called Get Back, and he was able to separate tracks, different sounds. Look, we have a little cameo here from my cat. Say hi to Buddy. Okay. Anyway, he was able to separate different vocals and stuff and tracks. For example, on this case, he was able to separate the tape hiss. John from the tape hiss, so it's just John's voice. There was a Beatle documentary that was premiered yesterday on YouTube and on the Beatles channel there. I'm sure it's other places too. It was about 12.5 minutes. I watched that, and they showed more about how that was. They gave you little snippets of the song. So they removed that, so that was just amazing. So then 18 months ago, I guess they even decided we're going to have a score with this. Paul said, this is what we're going to do. Beatles had, orchestration on their songs like Yesterday and Eleanor Rigby and many, many more. So they decided to do the Beatle treatment because it is a Beatles song. It's not just a John song. So that's what they did. Like I said, George Harrison does play on it from the, I think, 94, 95 sessions. and Paul added bass. Ringo does drums, and then there's some back-up harmonies, which is also on the song in different places, which is amazing, but it is a John Lennon lead vocal. It just sounds really good, and I am just really impressed with it. There is also a slide guitar tribute that Paul does in tribute to George Harrison, who, had he been alive today, would have done something like that. Listening to that, it doesn't sound like George's normal style, but I think, you know, Paul did his best to try to, you know, do that in tribute to him. So anyway, the song starts up, and it is just absolutely amazing to me. I was just blown away by it. I was choking up. I'm still kind of choked up listening to it. You know, we haven't got new music from the Beatles, real new music, since 95 and 96, so it's going on 30 years here, pretty much 27 years. I can't tell you, you know, just how good it was. So they play the song. There is a little middle 8 part that was not on the original part, kind of doing their own thing. That's where the slide is going. You hear the harmonies, which is amazing. And you know what's nice is, even though Paul is in his 80s, it doesn't sound like older Paul at all. It's in the background. I know, you know, a lot of this was probably recorded now. I'm not sure. I'm sure we might get some insight into that later. But either way, it was just done really well. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the best, I'd have to say that it is a 10, and I truly mean that. It's a very melancholy kind of filled song, and it's just done real well. I had heard it's like over 4 minutes long, but I tell you, I don't know, in that moment of listening to it, it just didn't feel like it. It just whizzed by real quick. It didn't get old, it didn't get repetitive. Like I said, I have listened to the demo, his version, but this is a new take on it. I mean, in a sense that it's just totally different. There's a different arrangement with it. I'm not sure if John's piano is somewhere in the mix. I don't know. I would hope it would be, because it's still, you know, the same key and everything, it sounds like. It was just really good. And then it ends, and then they started playing Free as a Bird, and then they played Real Love on, you know, this channel when they premiered it. So it was really good. How does it compare to the other 2 songs? I like Free as a Bird, and I like Real Love too. I think they're both good songs. Both, you know, top quality Beatles songs in my opinion. It wasn't like, you know, here they are 25 years later just trying to make some magic happen and it's gone. No, it was still magic. When you put those guys in the same room and you have them record something, it's magic. And even their personalities together are magic. This song was just as good as that, and I'm glad that they finished it. I know in 2007, Paul was talking, around then, he had an interview and he said, yeah, there's a song now and then that we didn't complete, you know, during the Anthology sessions, and me and Ringo, you know, we're gonna hopefully one of these days, you know, finish it. So they did. Like I said, when they were doing the orchestration on it, it was about 18 months ago. They brought people into the studio, and you know, they didn't tell them that they had sheet music. You know, when they were doing the music, playing the string arrangement, they didn't tell anybody that this was a Beatles song. They didn't let them listen to the John Lennon vocal or the demo. They just said, it's, you know, just, you know, play this, and this is a, you know, they passed it on like it was a new Paul song. Okay. So anyway, I hope you enjoy it. This is going to also be available besides single form starting on November 3rd. On November 10th, it's going to be on the Red and the Blue album, or it's going to be on the Blue album, okay? So it's going to be the 50th anniversary of the Beatles' 1962-66 Red album and 67-70 Blue albums. They've expanded them. They've been given new mixes like they have with all of their new music. Totally new mixes of it. It's going to be seen a little differently, and then at the end of the Blue album they tack on Now and Then. So you don't necessarily have to buy the single. It does come out officially on November 10th, 2023, so that's another way to get it. I hope it does real well. I hope it becomes #1 around the world, and I hope it lets the world know that even though the Beatles have been gone for so long, they still remain in our hearts, and their music is ageless and continues. So thank you for watching my video. You have a great day. Take care. Bye.